What's going down, everybody? HygroHybrid, breaking it down with you with a kilowatt. The kilowatt P3 meter. I know you heard me talk about this in my harvest video. Good reason that I brought it in the room and actually want to show you guys, you know, what it can do. I've already showed you what it does with you know, miscellaneous equipment. It could be an AC, it could be some pumps, some fans, you know, a humidifier, a dehumidifier, a fogger, aeroponics. You know, it all depends on what you're running. You know, you hook this thing up to it and you learn where to get the most efficiency from that item or that piece of equipment. So in this case, I want to show everybody what the let me see this better. I want to show everybody what the quantum ballast. Well, this video has nothing to do with the quantum ballast, because all digital ballasts, you want to know my personal opinion on digital ballasts, they're all the same, and that's that. I've used them all. I pulled, you know, 1.5 pounds with cheap ass Chinese ballast, and I still pull the same amount of weight with a quantum ballast, and I'll still pull the same amount of weight with a Lumitech or anything else under the sun. So it doesn't matter. Just get yourself a decent, you know, decent ballast. The only difference with these units is they have fans to cool them off and variable dimming options, which is just, you know, 50, 75, and 100. I'm going to show you guys. You know how many times I get called out on, oh, you know, if you're going to run your ballast low, it doesn't actually. So this is 600. So you know, using this as an example. You know, people say that if you dim your ballast down to the 50% setting, it doesn't actually stop drawing 600 watts. And I'm like, okay, hold the fuck up. How could you even fathom, okay, that idea? Obviously, the person making that comment does not know anything about electrical, so why even open your mouth? So this is for all those people. And this is a debate that goes on everywhere, on the forums, on the weed forums, on everywhere. Just anybody out here talking about dimmable ballast. I'm like, okay, if a bulb breaks itself down halfway and is no longer as bright as it was burning because you've adjusted it, it's because it's no longer using that amount of electricity, and that's it. There's no other way to put it. So I'm about to prove everybody right here, okay? The dimmable ballast, there's so many different ways. I don't really run on a dimmable mode. I always run at 100. That's just because you know, there's really no reason to, unless there's a couple reasons why you would want to run dimmed. Really, really hot days. You're doing work in the room and you don't want to be fucking just bombarded with light. And let me think of another one. A third. You could be water misting your plants, so you'd be kind of acting like a overcast method, to where the plants are still receiving half-ass light, and it's not so intense to where, like, if you're misting your plants with water, it's going to burn them. Those are the only things I can think of offhand. I'm sure there's a couple other ones, but you know, I will come in here and dim them down to 50%. Another reason is acclimation. If I'm going in from veg to bloom and the plant has never seen HID lighting, I will crank it all the way down to 50% and only run 300, you know, half strength. So those are the only reasons I run dim. But that's like, you know, 95% of the time I'm always full throttle, 100%. So, you know, anyway, so let's get on with this. Here we got our kilowatt P3 meter. It works as so. You got your volts, which we're running on a 120, obviously. Amperage is 0 because nothing's plugged into it. Watts is 0. Hertz is 60. And if you want to, you know, program a billing cycle per your electrical cost you're billed for, you can actually do that with that option, but I don't do that. So, so let me see, watts. We're gonna plug this in, okay? This is a 600 watt ballast. I have got it dialed down to 50%. 50%. I know it's hard, the angle, but it's 50%. So it's gonna go right there in the hole, okay, guys? gonna watch this climb. Now the bulb is acclimating. It's gonna rise, and then it's gonna fall. That's only because the light just turned on. That initial start of energy is where the bulb starts to, just the warming up of the bulb will actually, go up to like 500 watts. Then after the bulb is warmed up and is stabilized, the bulb will come down. Excuse me, the watts will come down at half strength, roughly. Given that this thing has a fan in it and other little doodad electronical safe components, it pulls a couple of watts in other places. So, maybe 320, 330, somewhere around there. But once the bulb is stabilized, it will, come down to that mark. Because this is a 600 watt ballast, you would expect to pull 300 watts at half strength. And I know this is like, common sense to a lot of folks, but to a lot of folks, this is like a really dumbass, debatable topic that I see floating around all the time. I just want to put a stop to the nonsense. So we have our lights, our high pressure sodium heating up, and it just started. So once it's stabilized, we'll go ahead and let's see what we're pulling for amps. We're pulling 4 amps. There we go. Now it's going to go down to 2 amps. Now that the bulb is stabilized, there we go. 298, 302, 304. We'll probably go up to 310 or something. Now, at 50%, it is 313 watts. I expect it to stabilize once the bulb gets warm and the fixture has been running for a few minutes, 320, 330, that's what I expect. But it's actually a little less. So 300 watts. We're pulling 2.7 amps and 317 watts, 60 hertz, and still 119 volts roughly. So let's crank it up to 75%. So you guys can see this. One click. All right. Watts. Give that a chance to stabilize as well. But there you go. There's your 75%. Come on. Math is easy, and electricity is very predictable, so to me it's common sense, but the topic and the debate has been just floating around so much, I get tired of seeing it. So hopefully these people out there are like, oh, okay, he hooked a P3 meter up to it and he's right. It's easy as that, guys. So now that roughly stabilized, we're going to crank it up to 100. So one more notch. Alright, now we're going to rise, and I'm expecting to be sitting around 620, somewhere around there, 640. So we're going to show you how much your 600 watt bulb actually draws. Okay, and it will be roughly this under any ballast. So once it is stabilized and warmed up, it will fall a bit, or should fall a bit. I run 2 quantums. I'm not proud of them, guys. So if you're looking at them on the wall, going like, "Wow, I got to get those ballasts to pull 1.5 pounds," get that out of your head right now. It's not worth it. I mean, I think I picked both of these up for like $250, maybe even cheaper, like $240 for both. I picked them up as a pair, brand new. So we're still at $650. You know, still pulling 60 hertz and roughly 5.6 amps. Volts still 117, and go back to the watts. That's the most important part, because this is what you pay for right here. Kilowatts per hour consumed. So kilowatt is 1,000 watts, guys. So whatever your bill says, if you're burning a 1,000 watt bulb for 1 hour, look at your bill statement, and you will see that you are paying, let's just say they bill you 50 cents for 1 kilowatt hour. So for each 1,000 watt bulb that you burn for 1 hour, you are paying that 50 cents. Okay, it's not that expensive. People think that adding all this gross shit is like, wow, it's expensive. It's not that expensive. The key is to not run dumbass shit around the other parts of the house. Don't run coffee makers that are like 1,200 watts all day. You know, mug warmers, electric heater blankets. A lot of people run these and just leave this shit plugged in all day, and they just don't know why their power bills are just off the chart. So this is the first time I've actually plugged this in, so it's safe to assume that we're pulling 650 watts consistently. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's stabilized. No, it's actually dropping. Oh, yeah, it's dropping now. So 42. So 40. It is dipping a little bit, but you can see that roughly, 640 watts, 650. It's what we're pulling. So that clears up that. But this just allows you to be efficient. If you have one of these meters, you don't have to plug it into one light. You can actually plug your main power strip right here, something that you would plug all your gear into. You would plug this into the wall, and then you would plug this into this, and then program your kilowatt consumption, your price per kilowatt. It's actually still dropping. As the bulb is heating up, it's still dropping. It's in high 30s now. So I expect it maybe after another 5-10 minutes to probably stabilize around 30. So yeah, you can actually program your strip into just this and totally figure out exactly how much electricity you use. When you're burning 600 watt bulbs, they don't really consume all that much. You see it's still going down. It's going down. They don't really consume all that much. They really don't. When you get into like multiple thousands, when you get above 2,000 watts, that starts to look a little suspicious, or however you want to put it. If somebody was to look at your energy bill, unless you don't live in that or reside in that residence, that means you don't run a fridge, you don't run a freezer, you don't run a microwave, you don't run the household AC. You run a dedicated AC for your room, and that's it. That's the only way to really offset any kind of, suspicious bill-looking activity. So just be smart about what you guys are doing if you guys are running a dedicated house for an entire grow. I don't. I only run my 2 fucking plants, and I'm allowed a lot more, and I only run 2. I'm allowed 16. I know that's not a lot, but I only run 2. There's no point, because I don't have 16 light bulbs, so there's no point. So it's still going. I suspect within the next couple of minutes it'll be down to 630, and I don't see it going anything below that. So we're still at 60 hertz, 637 watts, and 5.42 amps. So what this device also allows you to do is note how many amps you're pulling on one power grid, on this one strip, because know that 120 volt wire will only pull 15 amps, or 15 amp breaker is only going to pull 15 amps. Usually 120s are 15 or 20 amp breakers. It all depends on your electrical code in your city or how old your house is. So yes, you would be able to add. So that running both of these ballasts together on high, I'm pulling 10.86 amps. So I still have, another 4.2 amps, you know, left to, you know, dabble around with. You know, I got a couple fans, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. So, and that's it, guys. It clears up all the, you know, that mess out there talking about dimmable ballasts don't actually do anything for you. Dimmable ballasts are just that. They dim your light and consume less watts. You know what I mean? Although I don't have any preference for, I could do without this. This isn't the option I bought these for. So I just bought them. You know what I mean? So so we're, you know, let me see watts. Still, we're at 635. So that's it. All right, HygroHybrid. That is the Kilowatt P3 Quantum Series lining ballast test, and it should pretty much be like this with all ballasts. These bulbs running over the plants are gonna be replaced here pretty soon. They've had 3 cycles on them, so they're 6 months old. So that's it. The Kilowatt ballast test, dimmable ballast. Myth busted. Alright, peace out, guys.